When the name North Korea is mentioned, most people immediately imagine something dark, mysterious, and even terrifying. In 2025, this country still carries the title of the most closed-off nation on Earth. But can it really be called the most sinful country? Or is the truth far more complicated than a single label? In a world rushing into artificial intelligence, digital economies, and free flow of information, North Korea looks like a frozen island, trapped in time. The streets of Pyongyang are lined with monumental buildings and massive concrete structures. Yet behind those walls, life is strangely simple, restricted, and heavily controlled. The global internet does not exist there. Instead of Google, Instagram, or TikTok, citizens only have access to a domestic intranet called Kwangmyong, filled with censored educational and propaganda material. Imagine living in a place where you cannot even send an email freely to the outside world. Daily life for the average North Korean is shaped by discipline and limits. Long work hours, mandatory attendance at state ceremonies, and endless ideological songs are part of the routine. Even clothing styles, hairstyles, and the kind of music one is allowed to listen to are controlled by the government. Yet a strange contrast exists. While ordinary people struggle for basic necessities, Pyongyang sometimes looks like a giant stage lit up with dazzling lights, massive parades, and carefully choreographed shows. One of the main reasons some outsiders call North Korea the most sinful country is its nuclear weapons program and its constant violations of human rights. But is this sin truly a product of evil? Or is it the desperate survival strategy of a regime that fears collapse if it opens up to the world? The government insists that without tight control, the nation's identity would be erased. And in the middle of this struggle are millions of people whose smallest choices are defined by fear and restrictions. There are mind-blowing realities few people know about. North Korea has its own calendar, not based on Jesus Christ, but on the birth of Kim Il-sung, the founding leader. So while the rest of the world calls it 2025, inside North Korea, it is the year 114. There are secret cities where even regular citizens are not allowed to go. Every household has radios and loudspeakers that cannot be turned off, constantly broadcasting state messages. Children are taught how to handle weapons from a young age, blending education with military training. And towering above Pyongyang stands the Ryugyong Hotel, a 105-story skyscraper that remains unfinished. An empty monument to ambition and failure, both visible and haunting. The harshest truth is the painful contrast. Official state media shows endless images of smiling citizens, proud soldiers, and happy farmers. But defectors tell a different story. Chronic food shortages, thriving black markets, and families punished for the smallest disobedience. This contradiction is what makes North Korea both fascinating and tragic at the same time. Will 2025 bring change? While the regime still guards its iron walls, small signs of transformation are quietly appearing. Young people secretly listen to foreign music. Local underground markets sell smuggled Chinese and South Korean goods. Some families manage to get hold of illegal cell phones that connect them, at great risk, to the outside world. Perhaps these small, silent rebellions will one day grow into waves of real change. So is North Korea truly the most sinful country? The answer is not simple. What exists there is a mix of history, ideology, fear, and human suffering. If there is sin, it does not belong to the people themselves, but to the structures that deny them freedom. And that is what makes North Korea not only one of the most shocking stories of our time, but also one of the greatest tragedies of the 21st century. North Korea, a small country in East Asia, feels more like a riddle than a nation. News about it is almost always filtered through foreign media, and its own people rarely have the chance to let their true voices reach the outside world. Officially, it is called the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, but in practice it stands as one of the most closed-off and tightly controlled countries on the planet. On the map, it is squeezed between China and Russia to the north, with South Korea to the south, separated by one of the most militarized and tense borders in the world. That line does not only divide two states, but also two completely different worlds. To the south, a modern and open economy. To the north, a land walled in by ideology, militarism, and isolation. The country's modern history is shaped by colonialism, war, and power struggles. Until 1945, Korea was one nation under Japanese colonial rule. After Japan's defeat in World War II, the peninsula was split into two spheres of influence: the north under Soviet guidance, the south under American. This division, intended to be temporary, became permanent as Cold War rivalries hardened the border. In the north, Kim Il-sung rose to power, styling himself the great leader, and promoting an ideology called Juche, built on self-reliance, nationalism, and absolute loyalty to the leader. When he died, power passed to his son Kim Jong-il, and later to his grandson Kim Jong-un, transforming what was nominally a republic into something resembling a modern monarchy. The capital, Pyongyang, often looks more like a stage set than a real city. Gigantic buildings painted in pastel colors, enormous statues of Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il, wide empty boulevards, and the looming 105-story Ryugyong Hotel, a pyramid-shaped skyscraper that has remained unfinished for decades. The city's grandeur is designed to impress, but behind its polished surface, daily life tells another story. Electricity cuts are common. Internet access for ordinary citizens is non-existent, and the only information available is whatever state television provides. Daily life for most North Koreans unfolds under layers of control and fear. Clothing is plain and uniform, foreign movies and music are banned, and even casual criticism of the government can mean prison or worse. Families speak cautiously at dinner tables, wary of informers, believing the walls themselves might be listening. Yet beneath the atmosphere of oppression, people remain human. Children recite songs of praise for their leaders at school. But at home, some families secretly listen to smuggled South Korean dramas or pop music, though the risk of being caught is enormous. The military dominates everything. The state's informal motto is "Army First," a principle that puts the needs of soldiers above those of civilians. Estimates suggest that a third of the national budget is spent on the military, even when food shortages leave families hungry. The grand military parades in Pyongyang, where thousands of troops march in perfect unison alongside towering missiles, are designed to show strength both to citizens and to the world. One of the main reasons North Korea draws global attention is its nuclear program. Since the early 2000s, the regime has carried out several nuclear and missile tests, alarming the international community. To the leadership in Pyongyang, these weapons are seen as essential to survival, a shield against foreign intervention. To the outside world, they are a serious threat to regional and global security. Despite its isolation, the country still preserves its cultural identity. Traditional music, dances, and colorful art are displayed at festivals, though always under the government's supervision. The film industry mostly produces propaganda, but occasionally a production surprises outside critics with its quality. Cultural expression exists, but it must serve the state. Tourism is possible, but unlike anywhere else. Visitors must join government-run tours, follow official guides, and never explore freely. Taking photos of soldiers, poor neighborhoods, or ordinary people is strictly forbidden. A trip to North Korea feels less like travel and more like participating in a carefully directed performance where you only see what the authorities allow. The country's future remains uncertain. Its economy struggles under sanctions and mismanagement, yet the regime endures, propped up by a combination of military strength, tight control, and relentless propaganda. The great question is whether the country will one day open its doors and allow its people to connect with the wider world, or whether it will remain sealed off behind its iron curtain. The weather of North Korea is a captivating blend of distinct seasons that shapes the lives of its people. Nestled between China and South Korea, this enigmatic nation experiences a temperate climate characterized by 4 distinct seasons: spring, summer, autumn, and winter. Each season brings its own charm and considerable challenges, influencing everything from agriculture to daily activities and cultural practices. Spring emerges like a breath of fresh air, starting in March and lasting until May. As the chill of winter recedes, the countryside transforms into a vibrant canvas of budding flowers and budding trees. The weather fluctuates, with temperatures rising gradually, creating a sense of anticipation and renewal among the populace. Farmers prepare their fields, eager to cultivate crops that will sustain them throughout the year. However, spring also carries the risk of sudden late frosts, a reminder of the capricious nature of the season. Summer arrives with a crown of warmth, stretching from June to August. The temperatures soar, often exceeding 30 degrees Celsius, 86 degrees Celsius, imbuing the air with humidity. The country becomes a bustling scene as people engage in outdoor activities, festivals, and agricultural toil. Monsoon rains sweep across the land, nourishing the soil and ensuring bountiful harvests. Yet this season also brings moodiness in weather, as powerful storms may surge unexpectedly, causing havoc before subsiding to reveal clear skies once more. As summer gives way to autumn, which spans September to November, North Korea exhibits a stunning transformation. The leaves paint landscapes in shades of gold, crimson, and orange, dazzling the eye. The temperatures begin to drop gracefully, providing relief from summer's intensity. During this season, the farmers reap their harvest, celebrating the fruits of their labor in traditional gatherings. However, colder fronts sometimes disrupt this picturesque tableau, foreshadowing the winter chill. Winter blankets the nation from December to February, enveloping the region in frost and snow. The temperatures can plunge below 10 degrees 14 for making it one of the coldest times of the year. In cities and rural areas alike, people adapt to the frozen landscape, utilizing traditional methods for warmth and sustenance. The stark beauty of snow-covered mountains and frosted trees offers a serene contrast to the bustling life of summer, creating a profound sense of stillness that envelops North Korea during these months. In summary, North Korea's weather is a poignant reminder of nature's rhythm, directly influencing the daily lives and traditions of its people. Each season contributes to the rich tapestry of the nation's agricultural practices, cultural festivals, and community bonds, showcasing the resilience and adaptability of the populace in the face of ever-changing climatic conditions.